You ever have one of those weeks where your biggest worry is whether the pizza coupons will actually fit in your mailbox, only to wake up and realize, somehow, your entire life's been hijacked by a mailbox-sized war? Yeah, that happened to me. And if you'd told me my quiet, average existence would get upended by a strip of reflective tape, I would have laughed in your face, right up until last Tuesday. See, my mailbox and I had an understanding. It was just a battered, black hunk of metal at the end of the driveway. Never judged my lazy takeout habits, and I never judged it for sometimes. Flying its little red flag way too long, like a mailman SOS. Life on Whispering Oaks Lane. Maples everywhere, nobody whispering, everyone yelling about grass height. Wasn't remarkable. Not until that day. Jen, my better half, an accountant with the patience of a saint, and our golden retriever Gus, no relation to the tile guy, promise, rounded out my world of coffee, mortgage payments, and the slow, soul-sapping annoyance of HOA fees. Which brings us to Carol, queen bee of the HOA. Picture a house so beige it could make oatmeal look flashy, surrounded by a lawn. So green you'd swear it was painted. Carol herself? Late 50s, pastel tracksuits, spends her days peeking through plantation shutters and enforcing bylaws so arcane you'd think we were living under the Geneva Convention for Gnomes. 8 inches max, in case you ever wondered about gnome height. Anyway, a few weeks back, thick fog rolls in. I'm creeping down our street, nearly take out my own mailbox because, let's be honest, in that soup, you can't see a thing. Responsible adult me pops up and says, you know what? Let's keep someone from plowing into this. So, next morning, I'm at the auto store, picking up DOT-approved reflective tape. Cut a single, tidy strip, slap it on the front. Nothing flashy, just practical. The thing shines when headlights hit it, but otherwise, it's invisible. I sip my coffee, admiring my masterpiece, feeling like I just single-handedly improved neighborhood safety. And then, I feel it. The cold, prickly stare of suburban doom. Carol's on her porch, arms folded, lips pinched so tight you'd think she's holding in all the world's secrets. She stares at that mailbox, head cocked, like she's judging the morality of the sun itself. After a minute, she vanishes back inside, and I let out a laugh. Relax, Alex, I mutter. It's just tape. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, you sweet, naive summer child. 3 days. That's how long my superhero career as Captain Safety lasted. Then, nestled between a pizza coupon and some letter for our friends at this address, I get the envelope. Whispering Oaks HOA. Committee for Aesthetic Harmony, in a font so fancy it probably cost extra. I walk in, wave it at Jen. She's wrestling with a jar of pickles. Guess what just came? She doesn't even look up. Publishers Clearinghouse, or a love letter from the HOA? I rip it open, read it aloud, full announcer voice. Dear Mr. Alex Miller, it's come to our attention you've made an unauthorized modification to your curbside mail receptacle. Jen snorts. Mail receptacle? Lawyers with a thesaurus, high-glare reflective surface causing potential neighborhood disharmony. My tape, apparently, sows discord among the Maples. They demand I remove it within 48 hours or face a $50 fine. I slam the letter on the counter. This is nuts. It's tape. Jen just grins. You know exactly who did this. My blood boils. Surely a rational conversation could fix this. So I march right over. Carol's pruning her petunias with the focus of a bomb squad. Carol, you know anything about this letter? I ask, waving the violation notice. She gasps, pure Oscar material. Oh, the glare it shone. Straight into my living room for 7 minutes. Gave me a headache. We have to think about the community's aesthetic integrity. 7 minutes. She timed the glare. I try reasoning, safety, logic, human decency. It's like negotiating with a bag of cement. Harmony is important, she says, all grave and knowing. I'm sure you understand. Spoiler, I did not. Back inside, defeat turns to something else, something sharp, creative, just a little bit petty. If Carol wants to see a reflective surface, well, challenge accepted. That's how I wind up Googling bulk mirror tiles at 2 a.m., fueled by equal parts spite and caffeine. There it is, disco ball tiles. Tiny, 1-inch mirrors. Not a reflective surface, a whole galaxy of them. I do the math, order 180,000 tiles from a wholesaler. In Nevada, and put together the most unhinged PowerPoint Jen's ever seen. Operation Infinite Glare. She blinks at the mock-up, house shimmering like Studio 54. You want to do what? She asks. I explain my artistic vision, my legal research. She just stares, then cracks a smile. You're insane. Fine. But I picked the grout color. Deal. I nearly break the sound barrier clicking confirm. Purchase. Now, all I need is someone nuts enough to install them. Prestige, siding hangs up after I say mirrored glass. Call the gig app guy backs away like I'm contagious. Contractor number 3. Just laughs. Hope is fading. Until I call Gus's custom tiling. If it sticks, I'll stick it. Gus rolls up an hour later in a truck that's seen more history than most museums, rocking a mustache that should have its own zip code. He inspects the tiles, looks at Carol's fortress, and grins. Neighbor trouble, he asks. You have no idea, I say. We shake on it right there on his dented hood. Delivery day is a circus. For massive pallets of mirror tiles land on my driveway. Blinds are twitching, Carol's out front, phone glued to her ear. Gus's crew, Cletus the mute, Salve. Storyteller, sets up scaffolding, starting on the back wall for the big reveal. When they hit the side facing Carol, the house bursts into 1,000 glittering shards of light, bouncing rainbows. Onto her beige palace. She storms out, calls the cops. The officers show up, one deadpan, the other barely holding in laughter. Sir, why are you gluing mirrors to your house? Custom mosaic. Officer. Checked every ordinance. Perfectly legal. Gus pipes up. Everything's up to code. Carol's losing her mind about birds, planes, sunburned hydrangeas. The cops shrug. It's an HOA issue. Not a police one. A teenager films the whole thing. By sunset, the clip's viral. Neighbor turns house into disco ball. Karen calls cops. Even the local news bites. Another week, in the jobs. Done. The house is pure, ridiculous art, catching the light, painting the street in shimmery patterns. Jen and I throw a massive, grand illumination party. Even print Carol a glitter-filled invite, which she rips up, naturally. The whole town shows up, food truck, disco music, strangers in sunglasses dancing on the lawn. Carol arrives with the HOA board and hands me a cease and desist of $5. 000 fine, the works. But I've done my homework. Which rule did I break? I ask, flipping through their own bylaw book. Mosaic tiling isn't regulated. The crowd roars, the HOA flees. And the news paints me as a folk hero. That night, sitting on the porch with Jen, the whole wild ride finally sinks in. The street is quiet, the house throws soft, magical reflections all around. And life is lighter, brighter, even. The disco ball house becomes a landmark. Kids take prom photos, art students sketch, birds nest in the eaves, and Carol, defeated, moves away. New neighbors love the place. I upgrade the mailbox with a rainbow holographic tape, just above the original strip. Now it shines a little brighter every morning. Some people say you can't fight City Hall. But the HOA? All you need is a little light, a lot of nerve, and maybe, just maybe, a few thousand mirror tiles. So, what do you think? Was I right to fight for my sparkle, or should a neighborhood's peace come before a little harmless chaos? Drop your thoughts below. Let's see where you stand on the battle lines of community, creativity, and good old-fashioned suburban rebellion.